Now coming to the last part, I would be showing you what is a tuple. Tuples are sequences just like lists. The only difference is that tuples cannot be changed. It is the similar thing with strings. The tuple syntax is simple. If you separate some values with commas, automatically have a tuple. Let's say for example 1, 2, 3. We have a tuple over here, and they are often enclosed in parentheses. The empty tuple is written as just two parentheses. That means it contains nothing else. So what if you want to write down a tuple containing a simple value? You can just write down, let's say for example 42. No, that is a wrong way. We need to insert a single comma. This is a tuple. This is not a tuple. You need to remember that. This tuple is always enclosed in parentheses. You always need to insert a comma when there is a single value inside that. This is a simple example. Let's say for example we want to go ahead and create there's single value which is 42, and I want to write down using the addition sequence and the multiplication sequence and want to make it into a tuple. And I'll write 3 multiplied by 40 plus 2. This means it will not multiply the 42 with 3. Sorry, it will modify 3. That means it has just did a bit of mathematics. 42 multiplied by 3, but if we want a tuple over here, so I will need to insert a comma over here. Only then it will create a tuple. This is called as a tuple. The tuple function works in almost the same way, except that let me show you. Tuple, and I'll just write ABC. I'll just enter. It has just converted this into a tuple. That means it has converted a list. It is almost similar to list, but it cannot be changed, and it should not be changed. That is the most important part of a tuple function. Tuples aren't very complicated. There isn't really much that you can do with them, except that you can only use them to access the elements, and they are mostly used when you're using dictionary keys. And when you want to write down any other thing, a list is as good as a tuple, but a tuple is very rarely used. Tuple isn't really a function, it is just a type of which is used in Python. But list, you can safely ignore this for now because it is not as important. I'm just letting you know what you can do with a list and tuple. So you would be thinking that why would anyone want to use a tuple when you can use list? But you need to remember that you cannot just stick to list and leave them alone when you don't want them, because there are two important reasons why you would want to know about a tuple. That a tuple can be used in key mappings. List cannot be, because when you're using, you won't probably understand much, but it is just for the basic definition that you need to know. Is that when you're assigning something to a particular sequence that is called as mapping, we need to use tuple because we need something that cannot change, and list can be changed. That is the reason why we need tuple. And tuples are returned by some inbuilt functions and method, which means we can deal with them as long as we don't try to change them. But as of index, we can change them, we can modify them as per our needs. That is the only difference between a tuple and a list. Thank you for now. This is the end of the chapter 2.